Good morning, students. Today we are going to start another chapter, that is ethology. Ethology. What is ethology? Ethology is that branch of science that dealing with the study of animal behavior. Study of animal behavior is ethology. Then what is behavior? Behavior actually it means suppose this is an individual and he is getting so many stimuli from externally as well as internally. So he is showing a cumulative response to both these type of stimuli. That response is called behavior. Okay, that is behavior. It's a cumulative response to diverse type of stimuli that can be external or internal. That response is behavior. History and scope of ethology. Notable contributions are done by which all scientists that we are going to see. Greek philosopher Aristotle, he wrote a book, and his book is Historia Animalia. Some text. It's a textbook dealt with ethological aspects. Next, another contribution is provided by William Harvey. What he do? He studied breeding, nesting, and incubating behavior in animals. Then there is another scientist, that is Charles Darwin. He gave the first scientific study on behavior, and the name of his book is The Expression of Emotions in Man and Animals. Then came John Romanus, and he wrote a book. The book's name is Animal Intelligence. Then there is another scientist, that is ethologist, that is Charles Whitman. His book is Animal Behavior and deals with behavior of doves and pigeons. These are some notable contributions, names of certain persons who give notable contributions in the field of ethology. And who coined the word ethology? Geoffrey Saint Hilaire coined the term ethology. And which are the notable Nobel Prize winners in ethology? They are Lawrence, Timbergen, Fresh. These are the person who got Nobel Prize with as a reward for their contributions in medicine and psychology. In 1973, they got Nobel Prize. Then coming to factors influencing the development of behavior. Two types of behaviors are there. They are instincts and learned. Two types. Which are the two types? They are instincts behaviors are there and learned behaviors are there. So the two types of behaviors. This instinct behavior, uh, organism gain this instinct by their birth time onwards. This um, is by is these instinct habits are their own. They happen at the time from the time of their birth onwards. At the same time, learned it's gained one. Learned behavior is gained one because of the circumstances that exist around that organism. These are the two types of behavior. Then instinct, I already told you what is instinct. Then this instinct behavior is advantageable to which type of organisms? It is more predominant in those organisms which have short lifespan. You just think that if an organism have only a very short lifespan, so for that organism they are not getting enough time to learn something additionally and to behave accordingly. So in such organisms, which type of behavior predominate? Instinct itself predominates. Mm, and for example, butterfly has only a very short lifespan, so it will not learn anything additionally. They only follow their instincts. What are the features of instinct? This instinct behavior, they are all inherent and also stereotype. Stereotype means it is typical. It cannot be more, it is not changing with time. It is stereotype. Example, the way the cat is pursuing while he attempts to catch a prey. That behavior is not modified. It's the same for all cats. So it's an example of instinct. Then learning. Learning means it is not species specific. Just before I told you that the way the cat used to catch the prey, that is species specific. But coming to learning behavior, it is not species specific because it is a gained behavior, and it is not in a fixed pattern. It can be modified. There is learning. Then who are ethologists? Ethologists means is a group of scientists. They argue that instinct predominates and it gave great adaptive significance. They are the supporters of instincts. They are called ethologists. Then what is instinctive theory? That instinctive theory is put forward by Konrad Lorenz and Nico Tinbergen. And according to Lorenz, humans are instinctively aggressive. They are, by nature, they are aggressive. And Tinberg's book, there's a book, A Study of Instinct, also there. Then who are comparative psychologists? Comparative psychologists are those scientists who are favoring learning behavior more than the instinct. They are the supporters of learned behavior. They're telling that learned behavior give more adaptive value. They are called comparative psychologists. Then what is neurophysiology? Neurophysiology dealt with, it is explaining the role of nervous system in determining behavior of organisms. Then regarding all these things, what is the final conclusion? Final conclusion is telling that behavior of an individual is a sum total of both instinct and learning. Even though behavior is instinct, then also experimentally it can be modified. This is a final conclusion. So behavior is a sum total of instinct and learning, and even though it is instinct, we can modify it. That is the final conclusion. Next slide. Motivation. What is motivation? Motivation is a somewhat common term. For example, if a teacher asks you a question and if you answered to that question, then if the teacher give a good, then it will be a motivation to that student. It's a reward, incentive. So it is illustrated with a dog's example that consider a starved dog, and that starved dog, what he will do? He go on searching for his food, and at the very sight of his food, he start to consume it. And after consuming maximum, yeah, what the limit he can have, after reaching it, then the sight of the food will not elicit any further positive behavior in that dog. So there the food is a motivation. It's a sign of motivation. And that stage of starvation, starved dog and the feeder dog. In between that two stages, so many behavioral changes are happening, and that changes are happen because of motivation. Then what is the definition for motivation? It is a sum total of behavior that directs to a goal. Motivation is a sum total of behavior that directs to a goal. Then we are moving to goal oriented behavior. What is a goal? Goal means is whatever thing that can bring an end to a behavior in question. If we are taking the case of hunger, then what will be the goal? Goal will be the food. So the food can bring an end to the behavior hunger. So what is a goal? Whatever thing they can bring an end to a behavior, all those things we can call as a goal. Three stages are there in an animal behavior. Searching phase is there, orientation phase is there, and a cohesion phase is there. What is searching phase? Searching phase is the phase that animal involved in search of food. Then orientation phase means after finding that food, finding its food or goal, what behavior it is doing. That is orientation. Quiescence means it is a satisfactory phase after attaining the goal. So these are the three phases. And there are difference in the pattern of feeding behavior. In the case of a grazing cow, in the case of that cow, its food is at its foot. So in that case, the extent, the time of searching phase is very low because food is at their reach. They were very easy, each food is there. So there's no need to search long time. So search phase is short in the case of grazing cow. But the second phase is extended in the case of cow, and until it reaches the third phase, that the cohesion phase. So in the case of grazing cow, first phase is short, second phase is extended till it attain the third phase. Mm, Next, we are going to see the spontaneity of behavior. Behaviors are spontaneous. Spontaneous means they are developing by their own in animals behaviors. So if we observe a dog after sleeping, when he woke from his sleep, what the dog is doing first? It stretches its body, and then it go in search of food. Maybe sometime that dog woke up because of his hunger stimulus. So that behavior, so the way he stretches his body, and all those things is spontaneous. Then coming to temporal grouping of activities. How can we explain that? Means so many stimulus are there. So many stimulus are coming, and it elicits so many activities. And as a result of this activities, animal reach its goal. And this is the process. Um, Whatever stimulus is happening, and that led to to many activities, and at the end goal is attained. We are going to see some example. One example is regarding this fish, stickleback fish. What it is doing, I will show you that. First I am rubbing this one. Okay, what this stickleback fish is doing? First, dig a big pit in the sand, bottom sand of the river. And the very sight of this pit, it gives a stimulus for this fish to bring the materials to arrange inside the pit, and then this fish glue this materials together. So here the sight of this pit is the stimulus for this fish. This is one example. It's a grouping of several behavior. First, that fish is making a pit, and that the sight of the empty pit is a stimulus for the fish, and then the fish next action, next behavior is go and collecting materials to need to put inside the pit. So it's a temporal grouping of different activities towards the end of some or attaining some other goals. So temporal grouping of activities are there. Then another example is there. Another example we are citing the case of a spider. Let me rub this one. Okay. Another example is regarding a spider. In what way that spider is doing? The spider, when it find a prey, first it pursue the prey, and when it approach a certain distance, that distance means after attaining a distance that is enough to just jump over the prey, then it crouches, means അതൊന്ന് പതുങ്ങുക, crouch, that spider crouches and then jump, sorry, and then jump over the prey. Here also so many behaviors are there, and collection, all the sum total of that behavior brings about that attainment of its goal. This is another example for temporal grouping of activities. Next, models of motivation. It's very important. Models of motivation is very important. Most of your examination it will ask. So first is Lawrence psychohydraulic model. Going to see water closet model. This is a tap from that, and this is a trough, and it has an arm. Towards the arm attached what stopper, a spring, and that spring is attached to yeah, a pulley, and that the end of this string there is some option to keep some weights. Then water start to flow from the tap. Water start to fill in the trough, and when the trough is full of water, enough pressure will build up here. Then that time enough pressure will form inside, and what will form, because of this pressure, it pushes this what that closing, and as a result it opens, and what happened, the water flows out. Then we are coming to the terms or the behaviors that we can compare with this experimental setup. The water filled in the trough is equal to hunger that develop in an organism, and the weight that given here is a symbol of food, and the flowing out of water symbolified, it is equal to the action of eating. It's very simple. When there is no water in the trough, this spring will not open. This lid will not open, and there is no flowing out of water, and that weight will not come down. Okay. So here water is equal to hunger. When hunger is there, food is there, eating activity also is there. That is, it is explaining with this experimental setup. And think that only very little water, suppose there is only this much water here, then that force, this pressure will be very less, and this opens only slightly, very slightly only, very slightly only, this opening happen, and so only a small amount of water can trickle out. And if more water is present, then this force is high, that this lid opens completely, and a flush of water, vigorous action of eating is there. Okay, that is the Lorentz psychohydraulic model. This setup, this portion is called a valve. I forgot that name. This is valve. So once more, a tap is there, a trough is there, and there's a valve is connected with a spring, and the spring is connected with a string that passing through a pulley carry some weight, and that weight represents food, and as the tap opens, the trough is filling with water, that denotes hunger. So whenever enough hunger is there, it applying enough force towards the valve open, and the string is going down. So site of food is there, and as the valve open, water flows out, that is showing the action of eating. That is Lorentz psychohydraulic model. There is no hunger, there is no, and also even if food is there, there is no eating, because no hunger is there, no need to eat food, even if food is present. Another model is the Dutch model of motivation. Dutch model of motivation, I will show you that. The imbalance in internal medium. In the imbalance means here also we can take hunger develop. Then it excites the central link equal to brain. Then brain give a signal to the motor system, our hand to go and take some food. This motor system, and as a result, produce a behavior, that's we eating, and as a result, normalcy means satiation. We feel that food is enough, that feeling is produced, and it is detected by an analyzer, and it analyzer switches off that central link, and that stimulus also switches off. That is which model? Dutch model. Imbalance in internal medium, hunger is happening, exercise the central link, and it activates the motor system. As a result, behavior happens, and that behavior is happening, and finally it reaches normalcy, and analyzer detect that normalcy, it is switch off that central link, and that behavior and everything is stopping. That Dutch model. Then comparison of Lawrence and Dutch model. Comparison. What is a comparison? Comparison is done by taking another experiment. That comparison is done by Janowitz and Grossman. Janowitz and Grossman. We'll write the spelling. Janowitz and Grossman. Janowitz and Grossman made that comparison. What's the experiment? There's a dog, and in that dog, an opening is made here, and then a fistula means an external connection is made to its esophagus. By that way, there's provision to fill the stomach from external, and they give food in front of this dog. Dog start to consume, but as a one opening is present here, whatever he is feeding, it is coming out through that opening. At the same time, there is some other provision to fill the stomach with food through the this fistula. This are the connection that given to that esophagus. This is the setup. So, in this condition, what is the answer according to Lawrence model and Dutch model? According to Lawrence model, the answer is yes. Yes means the animal behaves as if it hunger. Why it is happening? Because the reservoir means the feeling reservoir is full that time also, but there is no action of eating, but the reservoir is full, means hunger is there. Because of that, the dog behave as if it is hunger. So according to Lawrence, he is telling that the behavior persists. Then according to Dutch model, what is the answer? Answer is no. Why? Because here the stomach is full, so there is no further stimulation of feeding activity, no behavior there. So that is the answer with regard to Dutch model. According to Lawrence, that hunger behavior is there. That is the comparison. Okay, with this we can finish today's section. Thank you.